Hi friends, David here from Learn Christmas Lighting, and in this video I want to talk about testing and perfecting the mapping of your Christmas light display. So if you're watching this when it comes out, it's like Thanksgiving here in the US, which means if you haven't put your lights up already, you're probably about to, right? Because here in the US, I don't know what other people do internationally, but here in the US, you generally want to get your show up by December 1st. I recommend starting earlier rather than later because then if you hit any snags, you won't have any issues. But regardless, you might be at a place where you've got your lights up on your house and you want to perfect how it looks. Okay, so I've got a couple tips here today to really knock it out and get it going right. So chances are you're probably at a place right now where I am, where I've got this layout of my house with all of these models on it in xLights. And right now it's kind of in the theoretical realm, okay? The second you put lights on your house, this changes, okay? The second you put lights on this house, you can now make it real and you can now make the xLights layout really accurate. So the very first thing I want you to do is go out front to the same spot or as close as you can to where this was taken. Take a picture of your house with the lights on it. If you can't, turn on output to your lights, make a sequence, turn those lights on, okay? If you can't turn the lights on, don't worry about it. Time of day doesn't truly matter, but dusk is great because there's just enough light to see where the lights are, but you can see them light up as well. But truly, you know, you can get away with daylight, whatever. Go here to your layout tab, to background image, boom, choose a new one, bring in that new image, okay? I haven't done this yet. Then what you're going to do, and this is key, is you're going to go and you're going to see the lights. See, I can actually see them there on this one. And you're going to line up your model in xLights with those lights. See, I did have the lights in this one. I thought I didn't. All right. You're going to line them up. And if you get the start and end points, I'm using my scroll wheel to scroll in here. You get the start and end point right on this lights. And yes, those are terribly crooked in this photo. If you do that, all of the dots are going to line up with lights. See that? If I go to the start, they're lined up. If I go to the middle, they're pretty darn close because this one's kind of sagging. If I go to the end, they're lined up. Okay, so you want to go ahead and do that for all of your lights. Hit save, save your layout. Okay, that's the first thing I want you to do. The next thing is testing time. So go to the sequencer and simply create a new sequence. Make it an animation, 20 frames per second, quick start. And choose the bars test. Maybe you've seen somebody doing this before, maybe not, okay? I like to turn on my output. I'm not going to do it right now, but I like to turn on my output and do this. You know, drag it to the 30 seconds and give it a little bit of speed, okay? So for speed, it's going to be the cycles on the bars. Choose a couple colors. I like red and white because they're easy to tell apart and white is bright, but you do you, okay? The first thing we're going to do is look at the vertical. As you see this happening in xLights, and you can slow down the amount of cycles if it's going too fast on your house. When you see this on your house, it should look like this, okay? Especially when you've got, like here, different props, like my window and my horizontal and my vertical and my roof line. These are all different props, right? They're plugged into different controller outputs. As that line moves up in xLights, it should happen, and it should be perfect. Straight across, okay? Now, chances are you might be saying, well, David, I don't run the bars effect much in my show. I know, but whether you run the bars effect or not, this is going to affect how all your effects look, okay? So things like your butterflies and, you know, your curtains, your spirals, all of these different effects are going to look just that much better if you take the time to see if this stuff's lining up. Now, what if it doesn't line up? Okay, we want to do bars, first of all. Up and down is great. You also want to go side to side, okay? And there is alternate up, blah, blah, blah. But you want to do side to side as well and work on that, okay? When you see something that's not right, go back to the layout tab. Fix it, okay? You know, take this, say, oh, wow, yeah, that is way too high on that window, right? Go ahead and fix that. You also, at this point, want to be looking at things like windows. They have wiring order to them. Everything does. It's in the, where is it here? it's hiding from me. It's right here, right in direction, clockwise or counterclockwise. So pay attention, and if horizontal or vertical is wrong, this may be wrong, if it's set to go clockwise or counterclockwise. With single lines matrices, it's going to be, you know, are we starting at the blue square or the green square? Okay. If you see something going backwards, chances are it's the wrong square. Choose the other one. Matrices, you're going to have a corner. So it's bottom left, bottom right, top left, top right. Okay. Again, check that you've wired it the way that it's set up in xLights. It's okay to wire it differently if that's simpler for you. Chances are maybe you got into building the stuff and you said, well, why don't I start at the bottom? This is on the ground. That makes things easier for me. Just update it in xLights so that things are matched, right? So once you've done that, press save. Once you make any tweaks, head back to the sequencer. I like to hit save in my sequencer just real quick and save it and let it render, because that makes sure that it's updated with the new layout that you've touched up. Okay, so you can go back and forth, you know, get that stuff all lined up great, and then you'll be ready to check out your show. Load some of your sequences, you know, check out effects like the galaxy or like the spirals. Pinwheel's another one that, you know, boy, when you've got a pinwheel, you know, I'll just bring one in here on my all group, and you can do this with individual models too. But you bring in this pinwheel, and I like to pull up this thickness, and you've got this guy running. It looks cool if the models aren't lined up perfectly. It does look cool. But when the models are lined up really nice, it looks amazing. And that's what I want for you in your display. Oh, and one more thing. When you do update your layout, you do need to open up, if you've already got sequences started, open those up, hit save, let them render through, and then you'll have those sequences fully rendered, ready to bring into xSchedule or FPP. All right, so hope this tip helps you as you're setting up this year. If you want more tips like this in my A to Z guide to building your first Christmas light display, then check us out at Learn Christmas Lighting Academy. Until next time, I'll see you here on the channel. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and we'll see you next on Learn Christmas Lighting.